Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here on my way home from work. I did not make the light, so I'm going to have to sit here and wait for it to turn green. So what better time to talk about WrestleMania 39? WrestleMania 39, honestly, shaping up to look like it's going to be a really good WrestleMania right out of the gate. Cody Rhodes, he didn't take any time at all. He came right out of the gate, opened up Monday Night Raw. He had a lot of options on the table, you know, which championship he wanted to go after, and he decided to go after Roman Reigns. There was no thought in this at all. I mean, what was he going to do? Challenge for the Intercontinental Championship? Of course he's going to challenge for Roman Reigns. My question about him challenging Roman Reigns is he challenging Roman Reigns for both belts? Is he challenging him for the WWE Championship? Is he challenging him for the Universal Championship? I know that Cody has put out a picture on social media of the Winged Eagle, and everybody thinks that, oh, Cody's going to win the belt at WrestleMania, and they're going to unify the championships, and he's going to bring back the Winged Eagle belt because he brought back the Intercontinental title before WrestleMania 27, and that was supposed to be a reign that was supposed to bring that title back in the light, and they ended up using it for a long time till I think... Did they change it for Apollo Crews? Did they change it for Nakamura? Somewhere in that SmackDown lineage, they changed the title to what the Intercontinental Championship is today. And it's a respectable title. It's good. It's definitely my number 3 on the list of 3 of the Intercontinental titles that I know. But I don't hate it. But they did use it for... shoot, 5 years, 6 years after Cody brought it back, with that white strap on the back, and you know, all things, you know, come new again. Of course, you know, the WWE championships around 2016 took new looks, and they sort of brought the women's belt to look like the men's belt, and everybody just had different colored straps that showed which brand they belonged to, and it was one of those things like with the women's evolution, one or the other, where they, you know, kind of combined forces to make one. You know, they tried to make it where one title didn't mean as much as the other one, because we had Charlotte and Sasha Banks main eventing a pay-per-view with Hell in the Cell. We had Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Sasha, the other one? I think it was Sasha, yeah. And main eventing WrestleMania 35, you know. If these women can go out there and main event WrestleMania, they can do anything. So, you know, the titles all sort of became one. And, you know, Cody, he grew up a huge wrestling fan. Dusty Rhodes was his father. Of course, he watched both brands. I think that, well, Dusty was in WrestleMania at, which, I think he was at 2. Was it 7 and 8? I think he was. So I think for all of Cody's life, he was always in WCW until he showed up in ECW at his dying days. But you know, I'm sure he was a Hulk Hogan fan, I guess, at that time. Well, what year was Cody even born? Shit. He might not even have been a Hulk Hogan fan until he was in WCW. So I guess he would have been like a Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels fan, and that's why he loves the Winged Eagle Championship so much. Or maybe his dad just had a whole bunch of Coliseum videos laying around and he was watching all of the old stuff. But I was kind of thinking about, you know, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, 2 of the biggest names there is in wrestling. I mean, Cody Rhodes is so big, you know, what he's done in the last, I guess, 6 years, maybe 7 years since he left WWE. He went to New Japan. He joined the Bullet Club. He wrestled for Impact for a little bit. He was in Ring of Honor. And then, of course, you know, started up AEW. He just became this figurehead that I always liked Cody's wrestling. The one shot I took at Cody that I can always remember was my WrestleMania prediction video the day of WrestleMania 26, my first ever WrestleMania. I made it in the hotel, and I waited for it to upload because I wanted to get to the parking lot to wait in line. I don't know why I wanted to get to WrestleMania at, I think it was like 9 a.m., maybe 10 a.m., and then sit outside the stadium and almost achieve heat stroke before going into my first WrestleMania. But I took a shot at Cody. He wrestled in that three-way where they broke up Legacy. It was Ted DiBiase, it was Randy Orton, and it was Cody Rhodes. Ted DiBiase, in my mind, and a lot of people's minds, was an easy pick to be a future World Heavyweight Champion for WWE. I don't know if we were talking about the Marine 2 at that time, or maybe that was a little bit further down the road. But, he just looked like the guy that was going to be the one. And he ended up being the Marty Jannetty of the team. I don't know what went wrong for Ted DiBiase. Obviously, the packaging of him and Maurice just didn't freaking work. But that day, I said, Cody has to win this match. I said, it's easy to pick Randy Orton, but if I was, if I wanted to have this match actually mean something, I would say have Cody get the win. Because if Cody doesn't get the win here, what is this guy going to be doing in 2 months? I'm pretty sure he said. But you go a year down the road, Randy Orton is wrestling. What did Randy Orton do? Did he wrestle? Yeah, he wrestled CM Punk at WrestleMania 27. And then Cody Rhodes is wrestling for the Intercontinental Championship against Rey Mysterio. Mysterio handpicked him as the guy that he wanted to work with him. And Vince went to Rey and was like, hey, what do you want to do? And Ted DiBiase, he might have even been gone by then. I'm not 100% sure. But, I guess he wrestled in that pre-show Battle Royal that was supposed to be United States championship match. I remember when Khali won that thing and he was walking out being like, is he the US champ now? Was the US champ, was the championship on the line? I mean, we were supposed to get a championship match. It turns into a Battle Royal. I don't know. I really didn't know what was going on at that time. But, weird. That kind of happened that way. But, Cody Rhodes, definitely one of the biggest names there is in wrestling. He's the biggest name that happened in wrestling that I bought a $100 hoodie on Sunday after the Royal Rumble. I'll tell you the truth. I looked at it. I thought it was like those track jackets that he had at the beginning of AEW. And I was like, damn, I didn't get one of those. I want one of those. I bought it. And then it's like the receipt came up. I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, that's weird. They call a track jacket a hoodie. I'm like, did I just pay $100 for a sweatshirt? I guess I did. I paid $60 for a t-shirt one time at a Sacramento Kings game because I always wanted a Mitch Richmond jersey, and I didn't think I would ever get one. Now I own two. But weird things that you remember in life. But, 6 years ago, when Cody was Stardust, we had matches of the Rhodes family. He wasn't Stardust at that time. When they were having those fucking barn burner matches, I got ready for this. It was Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the Rhodes twins. It was, he didn't have no paint on him. That's when Cody was just really burning it up. I think that tag match at a pay-per-view against Rollins and Reigns, I think that was called match of the year by a lot of people. That was a really good match. So these guys have chemistry. They've been in the ring. I was about to say that if these guys had ever done anything, it was probably a match where it was 3 guys against the Shield on an episode of Main Event or something like that, or a throwaway edition of Monday Night Raw. They never did anything memorable, but I remember that fucking match. I mean, that's something to look back on to get ready for WrestleMania, to see what happened there. Of course, that was when what was the basis of that? Were they trying to embarrass Dusty Rhodes? And the Sun stuck up for him. Maybe they were going to fire Cody. if I remember right, to Goldust, who wasn't even working for the company. They brought him in for a match. Goldust ended up doing good, so they just kind of kept going with it. They ended up winning the tag belts. But that was a long freaking time ago, man. That was probably 2011? 2012, maybe? Were they going up against the Authority? I don't know. Maybe that's something I'm going to have to check out. But this should be a really fucking good match. I'm just wondering, Cody seemed to be the guy at the Royal Rumble. A lot of people understood he was the guy that was going to win. It kind of really surprised me. A lot of people were thinking that like some outrage was going to happen because everybody wanted Sami Zayn to face Roman Reigns at, WrestleMania. I think we're going to get a little bit sooner at Elimination Chamber. And then I'll have to see what happens with the story from there to make, people think it's going to be Sami and KO reuniting, and that's going to make the story even better, and then they're going to go up against the Usos. I just don't know how you take that step down from going up against Roman Reigns to wrestling against the Usos, and people are still going to be there for it. But this should be a good match. I think the easy pick is that maybe Cody gets the win, and then Roman kind of gets some time off after this, because he is working a lighter schedule now, but that dude's been going hard, for a while, and for him to walk away after a WrestleMania loss is something where Cody can go on to another competitor and start, maybe doing something like what he did with the TNT Championship, or maybe like John Cena did when he had the US belt, and just kind of have really good matches on Monday Night Raw and make that belt mean something. I mean, a lot of the people they're going to put him in the ring with, what's going to happen. They're not going to have Cody lose a match on Monday Night Raw 2 weeks after winning the belt at WrestleMania. But I mean, you put Cody in there against Bobby Lashley and guys like that. Those are matches that people are going to want to see because the work rate's going to be high. I could see them doing something like that. But the other side of that coin is would Triple H want the story to be, this isn't going to be handed to him, that he's really going to have to do what Cody says and do the work and dig down deep and maybe win it at Payback after WrestleMania, or I think that's what they call the pay-per-view after this one. But is the story going to be like, the Rhodes family, going after, hey, you guys are WCW family. This is WWE. You might have been World Heavyweight Champion over there, but that doesn't really mean anything here. And then just kind of slamming the door on, yeah, you won the Royal Rumble, but you got more work to do, and you're gonna have to keep climbing that ladder to make sure that you're going to be the main guy. The one thing I think they have to do is I think they have to find a way to split those belts. Unless they think Cody's a big enough star that Cody can wrestle for Raw and SmackDown. But maybe you just have one of those matches that I was mentioning on one of the shows. He wrestles once on Raw, and then next week he'll wrestle on SmackDown. You don't need this guy having 2 burner matches on TV and just blowing through guys that freaking fast on the roster of who actually has a shot to go after the championship. I don't know, man. I think they got to split those belts. I don't even know how you do that. Like I said earlier in the match, if Cody beats Roman, he just get one of them. He would get the Universal was with SmackDown, because I think the last time I remembered it was blue. So the WWE Championship, I think that's when, I think it got messed up at day 1 when Brock went to wrestle Roman, but Roman wasn't there, so Brock got put in that championship match, and he ended up taking the belt, but he was a Raw guy. I think that's how the belts kind of got mixed. But maybe he just gets whatever belt they want to put on Raw, and Roman keeps going with his run, and maybe he has another match with Sami after, where the storyline is just kind of like Sami and Kevin Owens just picking fun at him because he lost to Cody. I don't know. But that's the match. It's going to be a good one. Peace out.